Dubai, Mugello, Zandvoort, Paul Ricard, Barcelona and Brno. This is the 2015 24-hour series powered by Hankook. Hello everyone, I'm John Hindorf, welcoming you to a review of the 24-hour endurance series powered by Hankook. The series started in January 2015 at the Autodrome in Dubai. Teams and drivers from all over the world have gathered in the sun at this track in the United Arab Emirates. 95 cars are entered to race this 24-hour endurance. It's the 10th anniversary of the event and it's still growing, not just in the number of entries, but also in stature, as the Creventic organised 24-hour series is now part of an official FIA-approved championship.
It's remarkable that they got FIA approval, really. It really shows the quality that we've always enjoyed. And now the FIA has realised, I think, and it's nice that we can get recognised that way, and hopefully it can keep growing in the way it is. I mean, it's a 95-car grid. It's pretty impressive, you know, so...
But does the FIA status influence the organisation?
The most important reason for this is we would like to award points for the system to have a championship, but also recognise we are still the same people, so we will still have the same atmosphere and a safe and sporting ride.
And teams do appreciate the FIA championship.
If you have a championship, it's more fun. It's the better way to do all the races you have. The short races we will compete with 2 cars, and the 24-hour races with 1 car. So we hope for the podium at the end.
Another change is that the whole 24-hour series is now sponsored by Hankook tyres.
We have Hankook from Zandvoort onwards, and to be honest, in a very short time they were able to have so many tyres in the right compound and right sizes. They're doing a good job.
The Porsche 997 of FAC Autotech has qualified on pole, and they've noticed the change to Hankook tyres.
We were fast last year as well, Porsche won as well, we were leading as well, so it's not just this year, but I think for qualifying especially, the Hankook tyre helped us a little bit because it's slightly harder, more consistent, and I think that's good for the Porsche.
It's time to start racing. Ram Racing knows what's needed to be successful in endurance racing.
You can't really take many risks, you've just got to stay out of trouble. The guys that won last year, they only ended up in the pits for tyres and fuel, and they didn't have any contact, and they had a fluid race, and that's what this race is about. There's going to be plenty of people having bits of contact, and if you have it near the start, it'll probably come and haunt you back later on in the race. So yeah, just staying out of the trouble is the main thing.
But trouble starts early for Ram Racing. The first warm-up lap and the gull wing door hasn't been closed properly. Fortunately, the team had the foresight to attach a rope to the door, and that's allowed the driver to close the door by himself and rejoin the starting grid without a loss of position. The lights are off and the 2015 season of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook has started. Last year's winner Stadler Motorsport had qualified 3rd, but by the first corner they're back to 5th and losing more positions afterwards.
Yeah, we need a lot of luck, I think. A lot of luck, as always.
Meanwhile, the number 12 FAC Autotech 2 Porsche has capitalised on their pole position, and they've got a clear lead over the number 2 Black Falcon Mercedes. Almost immediately though, the advantage is gone. A code 60 is required for the 167 Ginetta, who has lost its oil, requiring a track cleanup.
I'm having a crash, and I know traffic so well for VLN and everything, but I touched in the turn 4, the Seat, the blue Seat. I think it's the new one, the MK2. He didn't see me at all. For sure, when I can do it another time, I will respect more and wait, and then I overtake. But I go inside and he didn't see me. I go fast right to the wall and hadn't the chance to quit the hit. So yeah, it's part of the game and we did it really bad. So we're sitting now in the box and have to repair.
Stadler Motorsport carry the number 1 as last year's winners. But they're forced into the pits due to damaged suspension, and there's a little fire at the right rear. And after 61 laps, they're out of the race. This 24-hour race has 95 cars of varying performance sharing the track.
Everybody's paid to be here. Every car's got every right to be out there. So, you know, traffic's difficult, but this is endurance racing. It's multi-class racing. It's meant to be a skill of a driver to try and make your way through the traffic.
Everyone's racing for their class, you're overtaking 6-7 times at least a lap. But yeah, everyone's been well behaved out there, everyone's moving over when they should, but at the same time they're keeping their line when they're having their own race, so good fun.
Well, I've only ever done this race once before, but I've done Le Mans and Spa 24 Hours and Daytona and various others, and this is, for traffic, the hardest race. It is 90-odd cars on a 5-kilometre track, very tight, and all sorts of range of skill levels, so you've got to be wary of everybody, and everyone's out trying to have fun, some people professionally, some amateur, so very hard, but it's part of the challenge.
It seems we're doing something good, but of course Dubai has a spot to be for the drivers, and we keep it simple for the teams. So we have one goal: to have a fair and a safe ride, and I think that's what people like.
Oh, they are absolutely fantastic events. The guys organise the best events going, and a lot of event organisers just take a leaf out of their book. It's superb.
Not everyone has the experience of driving in the 24-hour series.
I got told this will be big, long sprints in your stint. I thought, nah, and it's exactly that.
And obviously, driving at night is different than driving during the daytime.
As soon as there's a car behind you, literally all your mirrors are bright white and you can't tell if they're 50 metres behind you or only 10 metres behind you, so obviously there's quite a bit of risk. It's the same for the little cars as well, obviously.
We really have to be very careful to make sure that we let the right car pass and pass the right car as well.
The 88 Dragon racing car is in the amateur A6 class and doing really well.
I think we can finish top 3 overall. We were second overall last year when we sadly crashed out after 13 hours. A lot of it depends on where we are on the track when the code 60 comes out, and also how long the queue for fuel was, because I stopped for a minute having another cup of tea in the fuel station earlier.
Contrasting fortune for the Black Falcon team. The number 3 battling its gremlins, the number 2 leading the field overall, having to avoid the 67 of GDL Racing. The rest of the Black Falcon racing team, numbers 25 and 26, are fighting for a win in the 997 class.
Yeah, until now we are leading. We had a leak in our radiator here just 2 hours ago, so before that we were 7 laps in front, so now we really have to push to keep the lead, so exciting.
Second overall is the Ram Racing Mercedes.
You always come here planning and aiming to win, so you prepare best you can, but I think realistically if we were top 5 or on the podium we're going to go away over the moon, so fingers crossed we can leave with that feeling.
Applause from the team and supporters of the Hofer Kuiper Racing 75 car as it finishes its last scheduled pit stop on its way to an A5 class win. 2 in the afternoon and the checkered flag is out for the number 2 Black Falcon Racing Mercedes-Benz.
I enjoyed it a lot, and the car has really been awesome. We didn't have one problem. Team has done a great job. I don't think we have made any mistakes. To be honest, I can't really believe it yet, but it's completely awesome.
For the victors, there's a camel ride to the podium, the Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai trophy, and the BRM Winner's Watch. For the 10th running of the Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai, the winner of the A6 class and overall winner was Black Falcon Racing number 2 in the Mercedes. The 88 Ferrari of Dragon Racing won the A6 amateur class. In the 997 class, 26 Black Falcon Porsche 991, 10 seconds ahead of its sister car, the 25. Mark Carr's Australia number 91 Focus took the win in SP2. In SP3, congratulations to the Ginetta 163 of Optimum Motorsport. The A5 class was won by the number 75 Hofer Kuiper Racing BMW. The A3 class was won by Memak Ogilvy Dual Racing in their Seat Leon Super Copa. The number 117 Honda Civic of VDS Racing Adventures took the A2 class, and the Cup 1 class was won by Racing Divas by Las Morash in the BMW M235i, as we leave the Middle East for the next race, which is in Mugello, Italy. In the 24-hour series powered by Hankook, there's a mix of professional and amateur teams. The amateur teams have gentleman drivers, but can have a professional or semi-pro joining them, but there are strict limitations.
The semi-pro, the pro can't drive more than 3 hours because otherwise it's not honest against the other team. So they want to limit the drive of the pro drivers and to let the amateur driver drive most of the time.
I really love to work with my gentleman drivers, and they have to say they have done an awesome job, and I really like to drive the endurance races, and for me it was like to have a lot of fun outside with my Ferrari. So I really like to be here and to work with my gentleman drivers to bring them up and give them all my knowledge what I have from the past. And I can say it's more or less like the 24-hour race at Nürburgring.
I would say the VLN is at the Nürburgring, all 10 races, also the 24 hours at the Nürburgring. So it's actually, you know the track very well, you get a routine there, you know how everything works, and at the Quantic races, every year you get a new track, so it's always different and new tracks, and yeah, so it gets, I guess, harder to adapt, but it's more fun.
The Mugello circuit is a test track for Ferrari.
The Mugello circuit is a test circuit, as you say, but they have a lot of competitions as well. Italian season competitions, motor races, car races. Yeah, a busy circuit.
It's probably my new favourite circuit at the moment. It's just everything about it. The way the circuit flows, the way that the people are here, the marshals, etc. And of course this surrounding countryside. It's a fantastic place.
The Hankook 12 Hours of Mugello is a contest in two parts. The first leg has just started.
After the first corner I was on second behind the Ferrari of Kaffa. And then we had a good pace. So Kaffa and me, we had a gap of 60 seconds in front of the third place. So it was a really good stint for me.
Everyone on this track has some racing knowledge. An International D licence is the minimum needed to race in this 24-hour series powered by Hankook. However, experience of course does differ, not only between professionals and gentleman drivers, but also between sprint racers and more experienced endurance drivers. You have to look behind as well as ahead, and a small mistake can result in a serious problem. A problem that may test your mechanics to the max.
87 have a crash after 1 hour half. Driver mistake go in the barrier.
The difference is this year is a kind of family event where you have so many different categories of cars compared to DTM where you have the 3 big car manufacturers. This is really fighting, and here is more family atmosphere. Even it's a race and everybody wants to be the winner by the end of the day.
I just go out to the racetrack, and the tire were certainly cold, and at the restart I'm too optimistic, so when I brake, small problem, but the wall was a little bit far, so everything was okay.
The best way to gain positions is to stay out of the pit lane as much as possible.
We've been making the most of trying to elongate the fuel and double stint tyres so that we reduce the number of driver changes, less time in the pits.
After 4 hours of hectic action, the checkered flag falls on the first leg of the 12 Hours of Mugello.
The cars can't drive 12 hours here at Mugello circuit due to noise regulations, so we have to stop earlier, and that's why we have split the race in two.
Most teams will get a good night's rest, as in Parc Fermé no one is allowed near the cars until the next morning. The remaining 6 hours will start with the cars in positioning class where they've finished. The second start just as important as the first, with the same rules applying.
The problem is I overtook the Mercedes in front of the start and finish line, and so we get a penalty of 10 seconds. But I think it doesn't matter at the moment.
We are trying to fight for the second position of our class. We are now, I think, 33 overall. We want to finish in the top 30. That's our target. Finish it, but first finish, then top 30 and 5 for the podium in our class.
Little accident, but the yellow car, bam,
race, it's okay.
Racing knowledge is clearly important in a series like this, but you still have to have a bit of luck.
Code 60 came out exactly at the same moment when we go into the pit, and so we have one lap in front now.
It's one of the best forms of racing you can do, and you've got to have your wits about you because of all the other cars on the circuit. 73 cars started the race, so you can imagine you catch up 2/3 of them, and a third of them are overtaking you. So yeah, it makes it quite exciting, really.
I was also in Dubai, now in Mugello. Two really different races, but with the same spirit. I really enjoyed this race because there were a lot of fight, maybe a little bit more than in Dubai. So for the person who are looking the race, it was very interesting.
We've been in Dubai, we've been in Barcelona, we've been everywhere where the series is. It's fantastic. It becomes more and more professional. It's for all the teams extremely fun to race with Creventic or with a 24-hour race.
I take my time and go in front of the pit wall to see what's going on there. And for me, the impression was that the level is extremely high and especially extremely fair. We had no hard accidents, we have no unfair attacks, whatever. Everything is really smooth and it's a really nice atmosphere to be in here.
I was behind the Bosch, and I'm very fast, and too fast, and impossible to stay on the track, yes.
Especially in endurance racing, you simply can't anticipate getting that win before you've crossed the finishing line.
The race so far has been it was very good until we had a failure, unfortunately. We were leading the class by over 2 laps, and then we had a problem with the front suspension, and now we have a problem with the engine. So we're happy the car did well, and I'm happy that our other car is leading the class, but I think we won't finish with this car now, which is a great shame.
After 2 legs and a total of half a day of racing, the Hankook 12 Hours of Mugello is won by the number 7 HB Racing Team Herbert. The whole squad is there to cheer their driver crossing the line, and champagne flows on the podium. In the Hankook 12 Hours of Italy, Mugello, HB Racing Team Herbert is the overall and Class A6 winner with their number 7 Porsche. The Mercedes-Benz of Hofer Racing took the A6 AM class. The 17 Porsche 991 of Ruffier Racing took the 997 class. The SP2 class was won by the number 91 Mark Focus of Mark Cars Australia. SP3 was a win for the number 163 Ginetta of Optimum Motorsport. The number 31 BMW of Duller Motorsport won Class A5. The 98 Seat Leon won A3T for NKKP Racing. Cup 1 was won by the 73 BMW of Bonk Motorsport. And Team KAYE won the A2 class with their Peugeot. The next challenge for our teams is round 3, held in the Netherlands. This is the review of the 2015 24-hour series powered by Hankook, an endurance championship that attracts global coverage.
The media coverage of this event is huge. We have a lot of journalists coming from all over the world. We have a lot of reporters. We have Radio Le Mans doing their commentary during the live feed, which is broadcasted on Motors TV. After the race, we will have a highlight show. For the complete series, we have live media coverage. That means we are live on Motors TV during the races. Everything is broadcasted all over the world. So yeah, I think nobody can miss the 24-hour series while it's on.
The pictures are produced by German firm 0221 Media. They're at the venue months before the race, surveying the track.
We're here in April, so we did a survey here on the track and we decided on which camera positions we use and which cabling from the track we can use, and on which cameras we have to use our own cabling. Okay, we have on the track 5 system cameras with cameraman, 2 chip cameras and 5 cameras on board of the cars. And we have connected by triax cable and fiber cable here in our control room in the VIP box. The flight case here, because we have a lot of events in whole Europe and in Dubai, so we have to be very mobile, so we can't use a OB van if we want to use the same technique for all events.
The circuit layout dictates where the editors and producers are based. It might be a truck, a major room or a VIP box. The weather also plays a part. Sunny, like Dubai. Rainy, as at Mugello or here at Zandvoort. It's the cameramen who endure the differing conditions.
I think they know such weather. They are professional cameramen from DTM or other racetracks, and the weather isn't the same as in Dubai. We have in Europe a lot of rain, a lot of windy weather, and especially in Zandvoort or on the Nürburgring and in the May and June. Yeah, but I think it's okay for them.
And there's always the added pressure of live television.
Live television is a little bit more pressure than only the live stream, but the internet is more important. Also, you can't say, oh, it's only internet. We don't do it the same professional level as on the Motors TV. So we try to use the same level of quality for both events.
Round 3 at Zandvoort, a Dutch town in the dunes, and the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort.
This is the second edition of the Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort. So the second time we're here at our home track at Circuitpark Zandvoort. So it's lovely to be back for the second edition.
Strong winds from the North Sea greet the teams as they get ready for the first day of racing.
Everything is set, so we hope to have a good car also for the distance. And first it's important to do a good 3-hour stint today, and then everything is open for tomorrow.
As at Mugello, this 12-hour endurance can't be completed in one continuous race, as noise restrictions and a local curfew prevent this. The cars are battling towards the first corner of a 3-hour race on Friday, after which the cars are parked up for the remaining 9 hours of racing on Saturday. The Hofer Kuiper Racing number 10 has started from pole and kept its lead. Ram Racing number 30 Mercedes-Benz is holding on to second. The battle is on for third between the number 2 HP Racing and the 7 HP Racing Team Herbeth. Throughout the field there are great battles for position in all the classes. As the drizzle turns to heavier rain, the leader of the field changes tyres to wets, but not everybody decided to do that so early in the race.
In the beginning it was drizzling, it wasn't raining properly, so then slicks are still faster than rain tires. So it was quite a while when the first cars came in that I was still quicker on slick tires than they were on rain tires. It needs to rain pretty hard before actually rain tires are quicker. It was still a dry line for a long time, so we stayed out as long as possible.
Veteran Racing Tom Coronel took over the lead in the 67 Mercedes-Benz. Through the field, many others went for wets too. Others were still trying to race on slicks.
In New Zealand it rains a lot as well, so I'm used to rain, but the speed differential of the cars in this race are quite frightening, and in the rain it's even worse because you don't have the same control.
Eventually everyone had to switch to wets to get the grip they required, although there were still incidents, of course, some cars having their view hindered by fogged up windows. And at one stage the track was so wet, a code 60 was called to allow the marshals to sweep the standing water from the track.
When it started to rain, we thought maybe a lot of accidents will happen because it's a tricky circuit as well. But in the end, I think only 3 cars had some problems, but the rest it worked out really well. So I think we have good drivers, good teams, and they manage the weather conditions really well.
Amazingly, there were no major incidents, and most cars managed to complete the 3 hours on Friday evening and cross the finishing line. As at Mugello, the cars were in parc fermé on the track, meaning no one could touch them until a restart next morning. Saturday was dry, so before the start of the second part of the race, the organisers announced that teams were able to switch their tyres back to slicks on the starting grid. At the end of the Friday leg, there were 4 Mercedes-Benz on the lead lap. At the top of the timing and scoring screen, the number 30 from Ram Racing. It's a new look to their car, as the red and silver has now been replaced with a blue and silver livery that they would have for the rest of the season. 3 more SLS are behind them. HP Racing's number 2, Hofer Racing's number 10, and GDL Racing the 67 car.
Zandvoort is a very demanding track, nice track, uphill, downhill, lots of faster and mid-fast corners, which is really, it makes fun to drive here, but it's also very difficult, very challenging, but I like it here.
Down the end of the start-finish straight, thought I'd take a dive down the inside, and then he decided to take a tight line. He just didn't want me to come past. So anyway, I spun it. So, and I think I got on film for it. So we shall see.
GDL Racing's number 67 Mercedes takes over the lead from Ram, but Tom Coronel is under pressure from Christian Frankenhout in the number 10 of Hofer Racing.
Me and Tom go a while back, like 15 years ago. He taught me here how to drive.
I knew it was Christian because I saw the circuit knowledge also, because he's also an instructor at the racing school here. We both are, so I mean, I had fun with Christian. He's a good guy.
It's a nice fight, and we kept it clean, so that was the main thing. Of course, it's a 12-hour race, so it's not like a sprint race or WTCC what he does normally. It's not door-to-door action, but we made it very close, I think.
Christian Frankenhout takes over the lead, but others have a slightly more relaxed race.
During the race, nothing really happened to us. We didn't crash or something like it. We even the car is as we started, no scratches. So up to now, it's perfect.
In the Creventic series, I think it's quite competitive series as we see, because after 12 hours being just a few seconds from the leader is a good sign for very tough competition. So I like the race here.
For these visitors, the race still had some exciting moments in store.
When he takes the curves, the Seat comes straight to him and has completely touched whole car at the box, right side of the car, and he has done 3 times 360, and the car went in the wall, on the side of the wall, and that's the way.
Today's been wonderful. Look at the day, track temperature's good, everyone's well behaved. It's been a great day.
And there are more who enjoy the courteous interaction between the drivers.
You have a mix of everything from those really fast GT3 cars down to some of the slower class cars. Everybody has a right to be on the track. Everybody has a right to some room and to not have their race interfered with. So yeah, really all in all, the competitors in this series are very courteous, work well together. So it's really a joy to drive with traffic that way.
Racing continues all the way to the end of the 12 hours. And in the 997 class, the two Porsches battling for the lead hit each other before they go by the flag. The number 10 Mercedes-Benz of Hofer Racing takes the win of the Hankook 12 hours of Zandvoort. Ram Racing number 30 is just over a minute back after a frantic 12 hours of racing. In the season-long championship standings, it's not necessarily those winning overall that have the best chance for a series victory. Bonk Motorsport 73 in the Cup 1 class and Mark Carr's Australia number 91 in the SP2 class are both standing on maximum points at the halfway stage of the season. The Hankook 12 hours of Zandvoort 2015 was won by the number 10 Hofer Racing Mercedes-Benz, who also took the S6 class. In the other categories, MSG Motorsport won the 997 class with their 52 Porsche 991 Cup car. There was a third victory in a row for the SP2 class winners, Mark Carr's Australia with their 91 car. The SP3 class was won by KAYE Racing in their number 160 Lotus Evora. Great battle in the A5 class saw Team Ultran's 205 Peugeot win by a margin of just 8 seconds. Cup 1 was taken by the BMW M235i of Bonk Motorsport. And the Renault Clio number 112 of Presenza.eu took the A2 class. The 24-hour series powered by Hankook attracts drivers and teams from all over the world, from Mexico to Malaysia, the USA to South Africa, and from Denmark to Singapore.
I've got to know about the 24-hour series, through a lot of publications and friends who have raced it. It's a very world-renowned series to race, and I think the competition level is very high. Something that I think Asia could have a little bit of a better experience, but nonetheless, I think it's a great learning experience here, and it's a great series to drive.
We have a lot of diverse teams. We have smaller teams, but also bigger teams with pro drivers in it. And we have in total 34 different nationalities here participating in the 24 hours of Circuit Paul Ricard.
It's very nice, very, very nice. many people, a lot of fun, and a lot of cars, a lot of to do for the driver. It's very nice, very sympathetic series.
Round 4, the Hankook 24 Hours of Circuit Paul Ricard. Ram Racing qualified a full second faster than the number 4 Scuderia Praha Ferrari in second, but by the first chicane, the Ferrari has lost second position. A collision with the number 2 HP Racing has taken the number 4 out of the race for now at least. All this action is going on behind Thomas Jäger, the race leader.
Thomas did a great job off of the start. Unfortunately, 2 cars had a bit of a running together in turn 1, which put them on the back foot and kind of allowed us to stretch out a small but very welcome lead.
There's a lot of noise and a lot of sounds in racing, but there's some that you just don't want to hear.
Sudden bang in the engine and then a lot of smoke inside the car. Then it stopped smoking and it was just really tough to turn. So at the moment I think they're still looking at what it is, so what it could be. So I don't know at the moment what exactly.
In endurance racing we have come to expect some technical issues. But the high temperatures in the south of France mean even higher temperatures within the cars, and this can lead to driver fatigue and errors, especially when you're near the end of your stint.
Round about the 10 last laps, they are very difficult. The problem is, you think, okay, I'm done in a few laps, and then your body moves a little bit down, the car gets hotter and hotter and hotter, you're sweating all over the body and it doesn't work anymore. And yeah, as I said, the last 5 to 10 laps are very hard. In the beginning, it's really cool out there.
Oh, we have some technical problem. We have crash in second lap, and after it starts some technical problem, I think, no, we finish.
But still, most issues indeed appear to be technical. The 159 Mark Mazda can't restart the engine, much to the dismay of team owner Ivo Brukers. He's been following what goes on inside the car with the onboard camera system, a feature teams seem to use nowadays.
We've had a few technical issues and it helps the mechanics understand what's going on. Also, it's helpful for the drivers because we can look at various lines that are being taken and the conditions on the track.
It's getting dark outside at this moment. It's just announced that the teams have to turn their lights on and the race in the dark is starting.
I love it. It's my first time here, and I loved it in the daytime. I love it even more at night. It's a very exciting course, beautiful layout, very exciting, and the traffic management's better than I thought it was going to be. When I first saw the layout, I was like, hey, it's going to be a little difficult, but it's not bad. Everybody's doing a really good job out there.
It's a little bit difficult in the dark because not all the corners are light out as perfectly, but it's lots of grip here, great circuit. That's a lot of off-road areas, so there's not much can go wrong. It's great.
We had a misfire and basically we blew the engine. It created a hole in the block and it burned again.
Racing at night is not just driving in the dark. You have to manage tiredness. And although during the day it's warm in the south of France, at night it gets cold as the temperature drops considerably.
You get tired at this time of the day. You have problems getting the tires heated up because the temperature went down, also the track itself went down, so the main problem is keeping the tires at the right temperature.
Dawns at Paul Ricard. It's not a great start though for Hofer Racing, who get a penalty for this incident at the fuel station.
We got a penalty because he didn't see that the broken wheel made sparks in the fuel station, so we got penalized for that.
The 24 hours is nearly at an end. How have the Hankook tyres fared?
Every racetrack is different. When you go back to Dubai, for example, you have a lot of sand on the track. So it means it's a very smooth surface. Here we have a relatively aggressive surface. That means we have a little bit different tire wear, a little bit different reaction of the tires during the use. But by the end of the day, all teams are satisfied. We handle it with our engineers. So far, so good.
After 24 hours, the Ram Racing number 30 Mercedes is first past the checkered flag. The number 7 Porsche, who beat Ram Racing at Mugello, is second despite technical difficulties at the end of the race. The Hankook 24 Hours of Circuit Ricard was won overall and in Class 6 by Ram Racing with their Mercedes-Benz SLS number 30. Ruffia Racing in their 991 Cup car took the 997 class. Another win in the SP2 class for Mark Cars Australia, but this time it was their number 92 Focus. The first SP3 was the number 206 Ginetta G50 of Nova Race. It was a convincing 139-lap victory in the A5 class for the 75 of Hofer Kuiper Racing. Team Ultran's Peugeot number 208 won the A3 class. Securtal Zorg Rennsport and their 67 BMW won the Cup 1 category. And a second consecutive win for the number 112 Clio of Presenza.eu in the A2 class. At every race there are hundreds of drivers and team members who love the sport. It doesn't matter which type of car or in which class they are competing. And outside of the teams, here at the circuit, are more people whose hearts are fuel-filled. Bernard Richards is owner of sponsor BRM Chronograph. What about his passion?
My passion is motorsport. I'm a watchmaker, and 12 years ago I started to do my first watch for myself. And all of my friends told me we want the same, because all my friends like the car like me, and now we are the first love of the driver on a watch.
And he also has a great love of comic books.
You know, my passion when I'm young is the car and Michel Vaillant comic book, and when they starting to do the new series, and they ask me, do you want to do something together? And I say yes. I produce the Michel Vaillant watches, and we put the picture in our stand, and we are successful now. It's a limited edition. It's very beautiful.
The Catalan region of Spain, Barcelona and the circuit of Catalunya. Round 5 in the 24-hour series powered by Hankook 2015. It's beginning to become clearer who are the championship contenders. Main contender for the overall championship, Bonk Motorsport, isn't attending this weekend, and that hands an advantage to Hofer Kuiper Racing and Ram Racing. However, if either of those falter, there's still a chance for Bonk at the next race in Brno. Mermak Ogilvy Dual Racing also missed a race at Zandvoort, but they're still in line for the championship in the A3T class, so what's their strategy?
We're leading the championship at the moment with these guys, and the car has been fantastic all year, so I think it's the same as always: stay out of trouble, consistency, and be there at the end.
The lights are off and the cars are racing for a continuous 24 hours. On a circuit the drivers like a lot.
I love this circuit actually, it's great, it's very fast and flowing, and it really does suit this car. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to my first opening stint, and looking forward to seeing where we are this time tomorrow.
At the start of the race, drivers are eager to gain positions.
So many cars were very, very aggressive, and you have to be careful because you have cars everywhere, and it's very dangerous.
The Royal Automobile Club of Catalunya is the Barcelona event's co-organiser, and they supply all of the safety marshals.
Well, I just drove out of the pit lane. I did 2 laps, drove over a curb, and suddenly it just shut down. They're now replacing the throttle body, but it's quite hard to do that. So
the Hankook 24-hour endurance series gets a lot of media attention. On TV, on the radio, online, in magazines, and also at the track. Here at Barcelona, spectator numbers are very impressive.
Motorsport is a very big thing in Barcelona itself and in the whole region of Catalonia. We can only be proud for all the people that come to visit this beautiful race.
There's a lot to see. A lot of action with racing in several classes at the same time. Not only during the day, but also through the nighttime hours.
I think overnight maybe more people getting out, so you have to be very careful. And more rubber as the tires wear off. There's more stuff on the circuit, so you have to be more careful.
We've had quite some lead changes due to technical difficulties or cars that needed to go in the pits for quite some time. So I think from the sporting side of view, we're having a very good competition here.
During the daytime, Ram Racing had a respectable lead. However, just after midnight, the number 30 ran into difficulties.
Unfortunately, we had a problem after about 12 hours with the power steering. We had to change the pump, could continue, but lost around about 12 laps. It was a shame because we were in a very good lead.
Sadly for Ram Racing, this was not the only issue. When the number 30 reappeared from the pits, it had to be collected from the gravel. The lead was handed to the number 2 HP Racing Mercedes, followed by the number 10 Hofer Racing Mercedes, in an amateur class.
Our brakes were not functioning properly, and one of the drivers hit the car from the back. He tried to continue driving, and therefore the engine overheated because of the radiator. We could not continue the race.
The night has been tough for a lot of cars in some classes. Now it's getting a bit more clear who's going to win after all. But it has been a tough night for all of us.
The amateur regulations means keeping to a slower lap time, but you also have a bigger fuel tank, meaning less pit stops.
Now we are second and doing the same lap times as the leader. So with one pit stop less, it should work out, we hope.
But there's drama just a couple of laps before the finish. The leader's bonnet is popping up, requiring the team to tape it down, getting the number 2 Mercedes quickly back on the track to try and salvage its overall lead.
We've seen a great race here. 74 cars started. I think 10 to 15 cars needed to retire, unfortunately. But we're very happy for all the teams that joined, and all congratulations to all participants.
And just 1 second past the 24-hour mark to the number 2 HP Racing Mercedes past the checkered flag. After a frantic race at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, overall and Class A6 winner was the HP Racing Mercedes-Benz. Ruffier Racing once again took the 997 class. The new SPX class was won by the number 22 Lippert Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan. The 66 Porsche of ARC Bratislava won the SP2 category. The SP3 class also won by a Porsche, the APO Sport number 43 car. The A5 class was a BMW diesel victory for Saxon Motorsport. And the A2 class went to a Peugeot, the 119 of Milan competition Michael Vaillant. The D1 class was a victory for the 137 Volkswagen Golf of Kakus. The final 12 hours of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook are at the Brno Automotodrom, starting at noon, ending at midnight.
It's a big grid, but we are not expecting any problems because the circuit it's a wide circuit.
As the lights went out, the number 11 Ferrari of Scuderia Praha took the lead. Now, this car used to have the number 4 on it. However, after multiple 4th place finishes, the team felt the number 4 was jinxing them. They couldn't have the number 1, that's last year's champions, so they went to twice 1, 11. It didn't seem to help them much though, as the number 30 Mercedes went by and created a big lead.
The wheel speed sensor broke, and that's why we did not have any ABS. So I hit the brakes, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden no ABS, so I spun the car, kept it on track and kept it going again.
That goes on in the background. Ram Racing kept on extending its lead, gaining time going through the other classes. Others had driving or technical issues.
I just lost one of the straights, the gearbox locked, and then re-engaged, and it looks like we either got diff or a gearbox failure. So the lads are changing the gearbox and the diff.
There's action all over the track. The 7, which was fastest in Mugello, currently 4th overall. Endurance racing is no longer a relaxed drive. Everyone is racing on the limit, and that means sometimes you go over that limit. Chantel Kroll is getting into the 75 BMW to continue her fight to become the Drivers' Champion in 2015. Ricard Nilsson is stuck in the pit box.
We had lots of good racing, and we had some good lap times, even though we had problems with the engine the whole time. So I think we had some losses of 20-30 horsepower because the engine went out all the time.
As darkness closed in, there were only a couple of hours left before the final checkered flag of the 2015 season. But some cars needed a pit stop to get to the end.
Yeah, the car is fast, that's sure, and the driver's also not so bad, and yeah, we need a little bit luck now, because we have two long-standing times here.
Others have a far clearer vision of their championship chances.
I think we are going to win.
I think she's going to win too, but I have my fingers crossed. We're doing everything. We're not just going to give it to her. She has to earn it, and she will earn it.
There are a couple of hours to go, so a lot can happen.
Yeah, a lot can happen.
We're in a pretty good position right now. Looking good. We have already, actually in the last round, we've won the championship for our class. We'll see. We have the chance to win the entire championship. So.
Memak Ogilvy Dual Racing have quietly put themselves in the running for the championship. They missed a race, so they were never at the top of any of the lists. But when drop results are taken into account, which means that you can get rid of your worst finish of the year, all of a sudden they're top of the list. So where does this stealthy team come from?
It's a family team. So it's actually, I'm the sister of the three brothers. So my three brothers are racing, drivers. We've got, the sister-in-laws doing catering, and my father's the team owner. So it's a pretty special thing for us to have done. We started a couple of years ago, really as a hobby. It was something that we all loved and we wanted to spend time together. And we got Phil Quaife on board, who's very close to the family, and we've ended up doing really well. I think everyone's really stepped up to their positions in the team, and yeah, we ended up being better probably than we first expected. And actually we've become really professional, which is exciting for us.
With respect to Phil Quaife, this is a family team. So is Natasha not getting behind the wheel?
Yeah, that's something my brothers are desperate for, but if I'm very honest, I think it's a lot safer that I stay off a track and stay behind the pit wall. I'm definitely much better suited at this side of it.
And there's a development in the battle for the lead.
Peter in the car and Tom ONSLOW-COLE, and they were neck and neck together. So it's really, there were so many swings during the race that still something can happen.
We were leading before we came into the pits. Unfortunately, we had to change our brakes. We needed a pad change, and that put us about a minute behind. And from that, it was hard to recover.
It's an endurance race, but from our point of view, so far, it's a sprint for 12 hours. No rest at all.
They're really enjoying it. The atmosphere, everybody's smiling and happy, and there's so much going on track, off track, cars being fixed, cars getting towed out of the gravel trap. I love it. Hopefully I can do some more next year.
Battles continue right to the finish, not just in the lead of the race, but in all the classes. It's the number 11 of Scuderia Praha that took the race overall from the number 30 Ram Racing Mercedes. We'll look at the final championship results for 2015 in a moment, but first, here's the 12 hours of Brno. Overall, an A6 win to Scuderia Praha with their renumbered 11 Ferrari 458. The 51 MSG Motorsport Porsche took 997 honours. A second win in SPX class for Leipert Motorsport and their number 22 Lamborghini Huracan. In SP2, a Ferrari victory, the number 44 of RPD Racing. The number 171 Valkenhorst Motorsport BMW took SP3. A5 was also a BMW, the number 82 of Duck Racing. A3T went to Team Ultran Peugeot, and the A2 class was the number 112 Presenza.eu Renault Clio. Overall championship for teams in 2015 went to the stealth outfit of Memak Ogilvy Dual Racing. That was a surprise no one perhaps had taken into account. The overall driver champion was Chantal Kroll. The class awards: in A6, team winners Ram Racing, drivers Tom ONSLOW-COLE and Thomas Jaeger, 997. Team winners Rufia Racing, drivers Paul and Patrice Lafargue and Gabrielle Aubergel. SP2, Mark Cars Australia, drivers champion Peter Liemhuis. SP3, the team champions Speedworks Motorsport, drivers Devon Modell and John Gilbert. Team champions in A5, Hofer Kuiper Racing. Drivers champions Bernd Kuiper, Martin and Chantal Kroll. In the A3 class, the team champions were Memok Ogilvy Dual Racing. The drivers champions RAMZI, Nabil and Sami MOUTRAN, along with Phil Quaife. Cup 1 class team champions were Bonk Motorsport. Drivers champion Gustav Engler-Jaringer. A2 class team champions Presenza.eu. Drivers champions Luigi Stanco and Stedan Tanner. D1 class team champions RCM Motorsports. Drivers champions Norbert Nagy, Witold Elkvi and Laszlo Kusti. And the team champion in D2 was Saxon. Drivers champions Tom and Nick Barrow with Jamie Morrow.
All the people at home, thank you very much for watching and supporting us and keeping us up all night. Thank you very much.
The important is the greeting to my sons and my daughters.
We would like to thank all drivers, teams, mechanics, our crew, Radio Le Mans, the streaming crew, making this year such a successful FIA-approved series. And we hope to see you again next year.
That was the 2015 season. On the 14th to the 16th of January, we're back in Dubai to start a new season of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook. There'll be more races and new venues. For more details, go to www.24hseries.com. Thanks for watching and congratulations to all our winners. This programme is brought to you by Hankook Tyres, BRM Watches, Radio Show Limited, the DNRT and Motors TV.